Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a video show dedicated to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and this is my overview of Cat in the Box. Okay, so this is a game that is based on Schrodinger's cat. If you're unfamiliar with that concept, here's the blurb from Wikipedia, and you can pause the screen and read it if you like. Now, this is a trick-taking game, only it does something very, very unique. Now, there are hundreds of games in this genre, and they would normally traditionally play a bit like this.
In this example, using a regular deck of cards, the lead player would play a card. They would lead with a suit. All players, if possible, will play cards from their hand in the same suit. The player who played the highest card will win the trick, which is a specific way of saying round.
Now, the twist here is that players will play a numbered card from their hand onto the table and then decide what color it is. And in this way, the theme of the game really shines through. Players will have to strategize not only in what order they'll play their cards, but what color they'll do so. The game will last as many rounds as there are players. So a 4-person game will take 4 rounds, at the end of which whoever has scored the most points will be the winner of the game. Now, you'll score points in 2 different ways. One way will be by winning tricks. You'll get 1 point per trick you win. And the other way, you'll have an opportunity to win some bonus points based on the connectivity of the cards that you played. More on that soon. A round can end prematurely if a player causes a paradox. That player will lose points for that round.
Each player will get a set of tokens, a player board, and an equal amount of cards from the deck. The research board is placed within easy reach of the players.
Each round will consist of 3 phases: preparation, trick playing, and scoring.
In the preparation phase, the start player will receive this card and will act first over the following sequence. Each player, in clockwise order, will choose and discard a card face down. Then, each player in clockwise order will predict how many tricks they will win by placing one of their tokens on their board. Then, the trick-taking phase begins. The start player will play a numbered card from their hand, then decide on what color that card is by placing it adjacent to that colored side on their player board. They will place one of their markers on the space on the research track to show which card has been played. The same card cannot be played more than once. Each player must follow suit if they can. In a normal trick-taking game, you would just look at your hand and see if you have a card in that color. If not, you can play any other card. In this game, however, you will decide if you have any card in that color. So let's say each player played a card in that color. The player who played the highest card would win. That player takes all the cards and stacks them in a way so that all players can see how many tricks they have won that round. If you decide you have no card in that color, you would remove the token over that color to show you are out of it, and play any other color you are not out of. But be careful, you may not change your mind later, and you cannot play a card of that color anymore that round.
Players can play any of the 3 colors that they wish. However, if they want to play the 4th color, red, they have to observe a couple of rules first.
A player cannot play red unless they are out of the lead color. Players cannot lead with red unless someone has already played a red card. Red is a trump suit, meaning that the highest red card will always win, regardless of the lead suit. So in this example, this player would win the trick despite not playing the highest card or the lead color.
Now, after all players have played all but 1 card of their hand, or if a paradox has occurred, the trick phase will end and the scoring phase will begin.
If a player finds they cannot legally play a card, as in this example, both red and yellow are full on the research board, his player board shows he has no blue cards, and the cards in his hand cannot be played as green, as the 1 and 5 spaces have already been played. A paradox occurs. The trick ends immediately, and play proceeds right to the scoring phase.
In the scoring phase, each player will score 1 point per trick they've won. If a player caused a paradox, that player will actually lose 1 point per trick they've won. And additionally, if you caused a paradox, you will not be eligible to win any bonus points.
If a player scored the exact amount of tricks as predicted in the preparation phase, as seen here on the player board, they will score bonus points equal to the largest group of horizontally or vertically adjacent tokens in their color. So in this example, 4.
Players will tally their points up on the scoring sheet. After a number of rounds equal to the number of players, whoever has the most points will win the game.
Depending on the player count, different cards will be used on the research board. They simply get slotted in. In some cases, spaces will be covered with these observed tokens, blocking them for the entirety of the game. The two-player game is played with some additional rules. There is some additional setup blocking spaces, and the players will not predict the tricks they will win. Otherwise, play is basically the same. There is no bot player.
So that was Schrodinger's cat. Or maybe it wasn't. So if you'd like to see my thoughts on this game, click the link on the screen. But for now, I gotta roll.